Well, frustration, anxiety is what's marking most of the first-time voters, as many of the applicants in the limited voters registration exercise calling for an extension of the deadline. The process, according to them, has been bedeviled by network challenges, equipment breakdowns, and also lengthy queues as we know it. Now, as participants strive to exercise their democratic rights to register as voters, they are also forced to sacrifice some valuable productive hours. Getting an update from some regions for you is what we'll do shortly. But first, though, let's take you to the Pro East area, where Nanaya Ojima reports that many registrants have been queuing up for days just to register.
Many continue to troop to the EC's office at Yeji to get registered in the limited voter registration exercise. Though the exercise started September 12, the number of applicants continues to increase at the center. Here are some applicants who have spent days in the line.
For instance, yesterday that I came here in the morning, but when I came, there was a whole lot of challenges that even I myself, I couldn't stand it. And I was also sick. As I'm talking, I'm a student. Yesterday, I didn't go to school because of this. But yesterday, I wasn't able to make it. And today, too, same thing. I didn't go to school.
Challenge I face in the process is slow.
The process is very slow. Poor internet connectivity is also affecting the process. The queue doesn't move as expected.
I didn't content about it. I don't contempt
Mpacho me de misire ne say on fa date ni bin kan humaye ne mboa ye nkoye nim kakala.
Registration officials have alluded to poor internet connectivity as the reason for the slow pace of work. An option of offline registration is being avoided for fear of double registration. The Buem constituency has many traveling over the voter lake for the exercise. Despite the risk involved, it cost at least 150 cedis to make the journey to the district capital. Yet some have traveled more than twice. Parliamentary aspirant of the National Democratic Congress, Emmanuel Buam, speaks about the cost implication on the party.
What we have done in Pro East is to continuously talk to our communities involved. That, for instance, today we went to a few communities to bring them to the center. If they don't get registered, we'll have to take them back and go for them tomorrow. So the same registrant, we are spending so much to transport them from their own homes and comfort to this place, and you have to feed them.
Meanwhile, Emmanuel Buam has added his voice to calls for extension of the registration period.
If today we are registering 300, we know that the run rate is that every day we can do 300. But if today we are doing, for instance, we did 40 the first day, and then when we switch off, we switch to the offline mode, we did 216. That should tell you that there is no specific run rate for us to say that because we are doing 300 or 500 per day. Per the numbers we have, we can use maybe 20 days, we can use 10 days, we can use the next 5 days to complete the backlog. So EC should do something about what we are saying. It is quite serious.
Meanwhile, John News is learning that the Electoral Commission will not be extending the deadline for the limited registration exercise. The Commission explains that it has met its projected target of registering close to 700,000 registrants, the reason for which the exercise will be wrapping up per the schedule, which is October 3, which has been given by the Electoral Commission. So how are the political parties receiving this news? Joining us now is Mr. Kofi Akpalo, is leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG. We also have joining us via Zoom, Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party, and also will be having the NDC share their thoughts with us here on the show as we move on. Mr. Akpalo, welcome to the program, and thank you for spending some time with us. I'm sure that the last time we had our conversation, you also went onto the field to monitor firsthand what the experience and challenges of some of these registrants are. The EC says it is almost meeting the target, so they will not extend the deadline. Is this a news that you'd welcome?
Yeah, it's something that I don't know. I don't know what the EC is thinking, because EC should know that they got it wrong.
Okay.
You know, they got their calculations wrong, because on a daily basis, the number keep increasing. The number of people they are registering keep on increasing. Every blessed day is going like this. It's going up.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, I can give you about 2 constituencies.
Okay.
And then maybe one in Ashanti region, maybe one in the up north.
What happened there?
Yes.
What happened in?
You see that every blessed day, each one, the same trend. So if EC is telling us that they've met their target of registering 600,000 because they estimated 700,000, to me, then the exercise was like...
Look, initially, I think they were dealing with the 1.3 million, which was revised now to 700,000. But whichever ways, the explanation is this is a limited exercise.
Yeah.
Wait for the next window that would open next year before we go in for the major elections.
So
so
EC is trying to tell us that you want to deny some people who have attained the age of 18 or 19 who want to register and vote for the first time to at least exercise their franchise in the coming DLE or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with the EC position on this. So the EC should come back again.
Did you raise these issues at IPAC? Because it's coming up. Some of the political parties say, well, they would not necessarily engage the EC through IPAC, but we know that your party is part of the IPAC. Have you raised these concerns? Have you put this before the EC?
Oh, yes.
And what response are you getting so far on that?
Yeah, actually, the EC was adamant. The EC was adamant because we raised it. We told them that even this straight registration whatsoever is not going to help anybody. So they should be able to extend it to the various electoral areas, which they didn't listen, and then they went ahead. That was the reason why we joined forces with other political parties to take the EC on to court. But unfortunately, the court did not materialize, and here we are. So the EC should sit back and reflect that what they are doing, they are getting things wrong.
But 700,000, you agree, is a significant number, right?
Yeah, meaning that if they have opened, we would have gotten more than 700,000. We have gotten about 2 million people by now. Because, you see, people are eager to register. If you listen to the voices there, you can see that somebody has traveled all the way, about spending 50 cities to travel, and they wanted to register, staying there for 3 days up to now, if not gotten their chance. So it means that people are eager to register, but just that the EC is having it difficult to register the people.
So that's your assessment of the reason for which we are having a number exceeding the 700,000.
Yes, it's the EC inability to register the people. It's not that the people don't want to register. So it's like the EC inability to register. So the EC should resource itself well to register everybody.
So you would call for an extension?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we should not even have a deadline. We should continue to at the end of next year. Yeah, we should do it continuously.
No, but the CI is not in yet. So that's the challenge.
No, whether the CI or no CI, I mean, we made laws for ourselves, but I don't see where we are getting anything wrong whatsoever. If they allow people to continue to register to maybe middle of next year or something like that, I think that would be better.
I see. Haruna Mohammed, you're also listening into the position of LPG. As a governing party, what do you also think about the proposals? First of all, the deadline will not be extended, as we're hearing from the EC.
Thank you very much. I haven't had the opportunity to hear the EC say that they will not be extending the exercise.
Actually, that was made just this afternoon on Joy FM on our radio platform, where Dr. Bosman Asari is on record to have said that they have, technically met the target, so the extension would not be necessary and will not be happening.
Did he say may not be happening?
It will not. It will not be extended. Yes.
Well, what I have to say on this matter is that Maybe per the information that is available to him, that is why he has made this particular point. We all know that the EC's target was to register 1,350,000 voters. They have reviewed it to 800,000. As at the last report yesterday that the EC had given to us through the media by a press conference was around 640-something thousand, and the exercise will be ending somewhere Monday. We just hope that when we get through Monday, the figures may influence the decision of the EC.
Yeah, and that's the exact reason why he says, looking at that trend, they are almost meeting the target, and they will definitely meet that, say by close of today or even throughout the weekend, where of course the registration process will still continue.
Yes. If the registration continues to Monday, and the numbers in the queues may also change the decision of EC. So that is what I am looking at. Maybe based on the information available to him, that is why he's saying so now. The information may change, and we are stakeholders in this particular business. If people are plenty in the queues and many people want to exercise their constitutional right to register, I think that the EC should give them the opportunity.
What would you have wished for? What would you have wished for as a political party? Would you call for an extension, perhaps for a few more days, to allow the process?
Why not? We have seen several other registrations that the EC had to extend or do what we call mop-up. I think that this is something that the EC should be looking up to, because even though we have another registration that is going to be done in 2024, but we must be able to register those people who are currently in line to make sure that they exercise their constitutional right to register. So I think maybe something can change, or data and information can inform the decision of the EC to vary the decision that Mr. or Dr. Bosman has said through your medium.
Okay, let's deal with some of the issues coming up, and I'll take your thoughts as well as Kofi Akpalo's thoughts on that. The issue about minors already infiltrating this process, that was raised by Dr. Bosman Asare yesterday with some pictures displayed. The EC says it will come with further and better particulars on who these individuals are. But they seem to be minors, according to the Electoral Commission. As a political party, are you equally worried that this process that's supposed to be, genuine, clean, and free from any minor, we still have some of them infiltrating and making it onto the role, as the EC is pointing out to us?
And the MPP.
Sorry, we lost you on that point. Yeah, if you can just take that point for me again. If you can take that point for me again, we lost you briefly.
Yes, within the MPP, we frown on the...
Haruna Mohammed, I seem to be losing you. We'll get back to you. But Mr. Kweli, the point about minors already making it onto the electoral roll, as I've pointed out to Haruna Mohammed. Yesterday, Dr. Bosman Asare put out some pictures. They claim, and of course we are not in a position to verify, so they claim that already some minors are making their way onto our electoral roll again, and it's because of the guarantor system.
Yeah, it's true. For that one, I agree with him. Because that was more reason why they decided to do the registration at their offices, thinking that maybe it will minimize that infiltration. But you see, this MPP and NDC, they will not give us peace of mind.
Why do you always feel it's the NDC and the NPP? I mean, there's no evidence. They did not mention the political parties.
But he cannot mention, but I can. Okay. Because they are the ones doing
Because you have evidence?
Oh, yes. But you too, you know it's MPP and NDC. The problem in Ghana is MPP and NDC.
You show me the evidence pointing to the fact that the NDC and the MPP are...
They are involved. They are involved. When you go to the registration centers, you find the agents for political parties. LPG, our agents are there. NDC, they are there. MPP, they are there. But those who are trying to put people on the system by force, they are the MPP and NDC doing that. They are everywhere trying to put foreigners and minors on the register.
And you say you have evidence for this?
Why not? Do I need to carry evidence to support?
No, but I mean, you need to support the claim. You just can't, throw away the point.
Those who are watching us,
involved in doing this.
Even those who are watching us, no.
But you had your agents there. What evidence did they give you to support the claim?
No, those who are watching us, they know that MPP and NDC.
You don't want me to know as well? Probably support your.
You are the media guy, but you are the mother guy, so we don't want to own anything. But I can tell you, categorically that MPP and NDC are the corporates.
Okay, now how do we address that? The EC says that's the reason why we need the CI to be passed.
Yeah.
If that CI is passed, the Ghana card will be the sole requirement.
Exactly.
Another challenging point, because we might be building up more queues at the NIA offices.
Yeah. This guarantor system should go through the NIA.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? I think
that's your proposal to dealing with this?
Yeah, but yes, that was what I suggested earlier on, that if anybody want to be on the voter register through this guarantor system, he should go to the NIA, get himself verified, and then get a card so that he can go and register. You know, the problem we are facing now, that's the main factor, that's the main reason, because everybody want to get more numbers to win the next election. So that's why they are doing anything possible to
just manipulate the system.
Manipulate the system. So this thing, I mean, we can go over it only when we have the NIA,
the card,
fully resourced. You see, I keep on telling the NIA that they should forget about this picture thing. You know, where they want to issue the card with your picture embossed on it. No. They should rather give you your number, so that when the person gets there, you just give the person's number. The number should be the one that we should match on, not the picture, the card, the picture. Because there you see, when you go there with the picture, whatever, the card, I mean, they will not be able to verify whether the person is registered or not, because they will not be able to know whether it's a fake one.
If that's what you're calling for, why not end this limited registration exercise now? Okay, end it now. Do the necessary reforms from the NIA perspective. Then when that is done, we can go ahead and continue the process and make it continuous, as you're pointing out.
Oh, actually, definitely going to be a cut-off point at a point whereby they have to cut and know the number of people who have registered to vote because of the pending district level election. So whether we like it or not, we're definitely going to have a cut-off point. So after that, then we resume on this continuous registration.
You've monitored the process too. We've seen political parties do, help some of the registrants by bringing them to the centers. Was that also a challenge for the LPG? Because I'm sure you are trying to mobilize your people as well to go out. Did you sponsor people? Did you
where we have our vehicles, we are helping people.
You give vehicles out?
The party has vehicles. So where we have vehicles, I mean, we are helping people who want to go and register, because national service.
But it came at a cost.
Yes, a cost to the party, but it's a national service. MPP and NDC, they are doing the same thing.
How much did you spend?
Oh, for that one, I can't disclose it.
I see.
Yeah.
Because Mustafa Gwande is here, you don't want to...
Oh, no. They won't be able to disclose their own.
So you also don't want to disclose yours?
I mean, it's not for public.
I see. There are so many issues coming out of this exercise, and it's also got to do with the integrity of the process. I need to point out that also joining us in studio is Mustafa Gwande, is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. You've been listening to Mr. Balu briefly talk about the exercise. The latest we have is that the EC is not planning, at least for now, to extend the process. Kofi Akwalu points to the fact that let's try and extend for a few more days and then mop up the numbers that may swell up at the various centers. What's the position of the NDC, knowing that the EC says they've met the target that they've set for themselves?
Thank you very much. I think first of all, my difficulty is around how the Constitution says that when you are 18 years, you should register and vote. And the EC gets up and set target for itself, and said, I've registered this number of people. Because of that, everybody else go home. As if we are running a private entity.
It's a limited voter.
It is not about limited voter registration. Let's not put the interpretation of the exercise to the name. The exercise has to do with citizens who are desirous of registering to vote. In fact, actually going through difficult situations that the EC have plunged them into to get to the district capitals, anticipating to be registered. As we speak, the EC is saying they have hit a so-called target. But when you check the registration centers, there are huge numbers. The traffics are very high. People are still coming out. And you say that you won't register those people? And that we are supposed to take it hook, line, and sinker because Jim Mensah is talking? Because government through Akufo-Addo does not want people to register? Because they want to control the number of people who enroll onto the voter registration system? Hell no. That is why they are doing all this preposterous campaign. That in the midst of a registration exercise, you have driven Ghanaians into difficulties. People will have to come to district capitals with 2 people if they have to be guaranteed for. They will come because of operational errors, challenges as a result of network challenges, systemic issues. They would have to wait 3-4 days in a queue to get to register. That probably will tell you. And after they have been through this, some are still waiting to be registered. You say, oh, because it is limited registration, go back home. Who takes the responsibility of their cost? Are you not continuously deepening the difficulties and further making the exercise unattractive to the citizens? We said decentralize the exercise. You are not doing that. As we speak today, the EC is calling for machines from the registration center. She's withdrawing some machines from registration centers.
But if they've met the targets, obviously they'll withdraw.
You see, it is insane for Bosman to say such a thing. Very insane for you to say that I've hit a target, so we don't need any. We are not running Bosman and Jim Mensah Company. It's an exercise for the people of Ghana. And the Constitution is very explicit that anyone who attains the age of 18 should be registered and should be able to vote. The people who are in the queue, they are not animals, they are human beings. They may not even be NDC. They may not be MPP. They may not be LPG. They are Ghanaians. They have a voting right. When you sit in Accra and you eat and you are full and you come and stand on the radio, TV and say that you have set a target and that once your target is met, you are closing an exercise. That is an insult to the people of Ghana.
For now, at least giving the constitutional remits, the EC is not subject to the control of any other person.
She is subject to the control of the people. EC is subject to the control of the people. She is subject to the control of the law. The Constitution does not allow her to do what she's doing. What she's doing is insane, and somebody must talk to her. That when people are of age, they must register. These are the people who will go and take a picture without describing the origin of the picture, without showing where you took pictures from. You are calling people who have just been challenged, right? And the process is such that when a particular individual, the exercise is policed by political actors. And so when you go there to register and somebody suspects that you are not of age or you are a foreigner, they challenge you. The challenge would have to be subjected to a particular committee to sit down and adjudicate the issue. And the adjudication is such that you have to bring further and better particulars of either your age or your nationality. Right. If you are not able to do that, they disqualify you. If you are able to do that, they qualify you. So you can't gather this data, raw data, come and do a press conference telling Ghanaians that all those people are minors. That is untrue. That is a falsehood. Go and check today. We have monitored the exercise. You go to the ground, the EC officers tell you, we have registered 100 today. 50 have been challenged. So far, we've sat and we've cleared 20 or 30. The remaining are yet to be dealt with. Are those people minors?
And this is where Kofi Akpalo's point comes to mind. The fact that the political parties which have representation in Parliament could have dealt with this matter using the CI. Which will now allow for continuous registration. MPs, for instance,
the issue is not about a CI. The issue is lack of application of common sense and somebody being up for mischief.
Yeah, but
Bosman is supposed to be a scholar to understand what common sense is.
But the CI, you agree, would have opened up for continuous registration. So there won't be
continuous registration
necessarily.
Why, is that what prevented the EC from undertaking continuous registration in the last 3 years? From 2019, what prevented the Electoral Commission? Doesn't she know that because she didn't register people since 2019, the backlog is long, the queues are very long? Look at the growth of our population. When you do that mathematics, you come and set a standard of 700,000 and say, because you've got 70,000, 700,000, our target has reached. So the rest are not Ghanaian, they are from Togo. I am saying that the figures Bosman put out, over 7 people who have been challenged are minors, it's not true. He cannot jump onto the podium accusing political parties because he wants to mischievously start a campaign for a new CI. You are accusing people who are using guarantor system of being minors. Look, the same guarantor system is what we use in the Ghana card registration. Are we going to invalidate all those cards that we acquired through, what do we call, the guarantor system? 64% of the people who have registered use the guarantor system. He then jumps and says, oh, go and check 2020, when we do the registration, the figure, that is corrupt mindedness.
Okay, Mr. Pell, in all of this, if the EC decides not to open up and to extend, what will you do as a political party?
We will talk to our lawyers to find out if there is a way that something can be done. Because you see, from what I've observed, if I give you, this one is Mankranso.
Okay. You have some of the reports?
Yes, yes, this is Mankranso. Mankranso, they started with 58. Okay. The first day, they started with 58. Then the next day, they moved to 132 and then 127. Now, they are up to 269.
Okay, so the numbers keep going.
Keep going. If I give you Nandoli, they started with 18, 24, 14, and now it's 196. So meaning that it's not that people are getting the awareness. So the projection of 700,000 to me is the lowest.
But why are you failing as political parties to admit that the EC also ought to work with the target? They call it a limited exercise.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be for everyone.
The limited is whereby, you see, it's
just a
maybe you've done previous years, and then maybe getting to an election, you say, okay, let me do something small to do more pop,
for the district level.
Yes. But this one, we've waited since 2019. We've not done any registration. And then you come one day and say you want to do registration, and then you've gotten some few numbers and said you are okay. Now, looking at the frustration, people have traveled all the way from their villages to the district centers. And now they don't know whether they're going to get on the voter register. You see, this the first time somebody wants to vote for somebody to go to assembly.
Right.
Because, you see, the assembly election is very, very important than our parliamentary level, or whatever. The most important election is the assembly election. The assembly election is where you feel that this is the guy I voted for in my community that I can hold responsible on a daily basis. And then pay somewhere that I cannot even have access to. So people are eager and ready to vote for their own assemblymen and unit committee members because they live with them. And they want to, they are going to impact their lives.
But some will challenge you on that, given the stats that we've had over the years. The fact that if you look at voter participation in the local level elections, it's almost always low
because
than the national exercise. Because so the political parties, because you know this will favor you, it's the reason for which you are offering for the to be extended.
The NCC wasn't up to the task. They were not doing enough to educate people the importance of the district assembly elections. Now, some of us, we're taking upon ourselves, going around, telling people why they should go and vote for their own assemblymen and women, because they are the people they live with. So we are creating that. That's why people want to go and register to vote.
I see. Haruna Mohammed, you've been listening to the submission so far. The NPP, for you, I mean, we have at least 2 political parties here saying the dates must first of all be extended, and in fact, the EC must open up more centers. You were making some point earlier before we lost you.
Yeah, you know, I made my point that extension is something that is very bound because of the numbers that is involved. And as a party, we are very much aware that many more people want to register to exercise their constitutional right to vote in the 2024 general elections.
Right.
But I want to make this point very clear. You see, the opportunity we have gotten to speak on this particular platform is not because we are more intelligent than any other person. It's because it's a privilege that we got. And we must speak with some sense that will have or carry some particular weight and portray to the people that we have much respect for people in society. It's very unfortunate for me to hear that Bosman Asari is insane to have said so. I was thinking
those were not his exact words.
This guy
quote him properly.
He wasn't listening. He wasn't listening.
What you are doing, I can do better than you. So please,
Haruna,
you're not listening. I won't allow you to continue. You're not listening.
Just to be fair,
you're not listening.
Please, bless, tell him I can do what he is doing.
No, but the point is, he did not.
So please, you keep quiet.
Just go ahead. So just go ahead.
I was quiet.
So just go ahead.
When you were talking, I was quiet.
Yeah,
don't lie.
But just to be fair, he did not, refer to.
Don't distort the facts.
Being insane.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said it's
I didn't say that.
No, he
you are not listening.
Be insane.
If you are retracting that, you say so.
So just go ahead.
That,
with the
you
point.
say so.
That guy isn't listening.
Okay, Haruna, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I can do more than what you are doing.
Okay, gentlemen. Haruna, just make the point.
I can do more than what you are doing.
I get your point. So just make the point then. Just make the point.
So, you see, when you look at this particular, you sit down and listen to these commentaries, it is something that we have to all call on the Electoral Commission to reconsider their decision to curtail this particular process. Let's not behave as if. Let's not behave. Look, please.
Let him withdraw that.
Haruna, just make your point. Just make your point. I'll give him the time.
Let him withdraw.
Yeah, I'll give you.
How can you refer to what we said?
I'll give you the time to.
Let's not behave.
No, just land on your point. Just make your point, and then I'll give you the.
Let's not.
No, let's go ahead. Let's make progress.
Going to be instructors to Electoral Commission.
So let's make
we can sit
to the program.
We can sit and then wants to direct what the Electoral Commission should do. We are stakeholders. We can sit down and make sure that we contribute to the discussion to let Electoral Commission know that as political parties, this is what we want to be done. If the Electoral Commission, through that stakeholder consultation, sees that there is reason in what we do, we should not be seen to be instructors to them. And that is why the former President John Mahama had said when he was president that we should leave EC alone to do their job.
Okay, but they would appreciate feedback, for instance. Haruna, if you look at the numbers at the centers, I recall speaking to you at the start of this exercise. The call was that expand the centers, open up more centers so that you can take more numbers by the end of October 3. Now, that has not been done. You still have more people at these district centers.
And that is why
were defending the exercise at that time.
For an extension.
Yeah.
That is why I sat here. First, when you called me, I told you that based on the numbers that EC has seen, that is why they said what they said. And I think that I joined the call for us to make what? To ask EC to extend or do a mop-up of this exercise, to get more people to be registered. And that is what I have said. Because we have all looked at the ramifications of what is happening, network challenges, cost, distance, and all those matters. The NPP has looked at those particular factors. And that is why we are saying that maybe because of the data available to them, that is what they are saying. But we are here calling that if that is so, the queues are still long, the EC should take some look at it and make sure that at least an extension is given for more people to get registered.
The issue I now want to ask all of you will be about transport because it's becoming a challenge for most first-time voters. So I'll start off with you again, Haruna. How do we overcome that hurdle? Because just as we've seen in the report we played before this conversation, lots of people in, say, Afram Plains area, Pro East, some of these communities, riverine areas, they're having challenges crossing over to the main land to register. So how do we deal with that? I recall you were pointing out that your party had some arrangement to at least transport people. How many people have you helped so far? Do you feel that's sustainable?
I think that I won't be able to offhand tell you how many people, because we have electoral area coordinators, we have polling station executives, and these people have been put together to make sure that they give assistance to new-time voters who would want to register and vote. So we are there in the communities, in the hinterlands, in the polling stations, and making sure that we get the people out to register. It is something that is worrisome, that cost is coming against us. But we are doing so not because it is our constitutional right to do, but we are doing so because we want to assist people to get registered, because we are stakeholders in this whole enterprise.
So how about the aspect of the human rights, the rights of the individuals involved here?
Yes, the right of the individual is to be registered. And to be registered, the Electoral Commission has to create a platform. A platform has been created. But however, a distance is the factor for the platform. If the platform was not created, and that is where we will say that their right has been broken. But in this instance, a center has been created. But we are all talking about distance. And I don't think that there is any right that has been taken away. It is our responsibility to be able to exercise our own rights.
All right. Kofi Akwalu, I'll come to you, Mustafa Gwande. The issue about transportation, how to deal with that, knowing that, the time is fast spent. You just have a few more days to, ramp up more of the numbers to the centers.
Yeah, actually, I don't know what we can do again, because from our party point of view, we have done the little that we could, because we managed to have some people where we have our party vehicles idle. So we said, okay, why don't you use to go to the villages and help people to come and register?
But you can't pick everyone.
Yes, definitely, because the towns and villages are scattered. So but we try, and then DC and MPP, we've seen them also doing same thing, but it's still not enough, because it's not everybody that they can reach out to. So it's a cumbersome thing, and the only way to overcome it is that the EC is to extend the dates and then also open more centers for the people to be able to go and register.
If the EC decides now to, say, provide buses at vantage points,
they should have done
to carry people at least for the very last few days, to take advantage of
they should have made that arrangement from the onset by providing buses for the people to travel. At least maybe if it's once in a week, that would have been a laudable idea.
But now?
Oh, it's still not too late, like you said, but I would suggest that at least they give us 5 days, 5 more days, maybe for people to go and register. At the same time, whilst they are doing this replacement of cars and then also transfers,
yes,
they can as well keep on also registering people.
More and more people.
Will be going there. I don't see why they cannot do it concurrently.
Mustafa, for you, the solution, the transport aspect.
Yeah, so according to my brother, we are assisting democracy, unsolicited burdens. And let me tell you, you have parliamentarians in your party. You don't have PCs yet, but you have constituency executives. Can you imagine that an MP will have to go to a registration center, see thousands of people sitting down, he drives past and go? How much are MPs paid? This same government is not paying their common fund. The people would have to cough money to feed people whilst they are in the queues. We have to transport these people to the registration centers. The reality is that parliamentarians and parliamentary candidates are bearing the cost that Jim Mensah has put all of us into. We didn't solicit for this assistance. Who told us that it's our duty to be transporting people to register? CI 91 amended 127 regulation 2 makes it very explicit so that we don't incur this cost. You have an electoral commissioner who will not go by that. Exactly. Who will not go by that.
But they did not mention the spots where the registration.
That's fine. So she applied discretion. That discretion has put all of us into cost, challenges, risk. People are getting accidents. Recently, somebody around Kaswa, people around Kaswa, had an accident. One is at Kwalebu Intensive Care Unit. These things would have been avoided if we decentralize the registration exercise. She's not interested because she's leading a government agenda to suppress people from not able to register. The government is far involved. Look, that, what she's doing is clearly an agenda of government. Yeah. The MPP is covertly involved in this.
Well, there's no overt sign.
My brother Haruna has parliamentarians. Recently, some of his parliamentarians came out to complain about how much they are spending. He is sitting here. He just told you, how can a poor political party be busing people? And the electoral commissioner is happy putting political parties on this route. Now, we are almost ending the exercise. All we are saying is that people have moved from very distant locations to the district capitals, all in the name of coming to register. The numbers are increasing because people are getting interested day by day. Okay, so because we do subsequent registrations, we should try and at least finish the people who are within the district capitals and in the queues. At least that's the rule of a queue. We all went to school. It's simple. Even when we are voting and it is 6 p.m., the people in the queue would have to vote.
Yeah, because they were in
the queue. You cannot say that they should go back home. So on that day, that last day, what happens to the people in the queue? Are we going to ask them to go home after they have waited for how many days to be able to register? So we're asking that extend the exercise so that we cover the period, because you have not been able to do continuous registration or limited registration since 2019. So the queues are very long because you didn't do your work. Because you didn't do your work, either because of lack of funding or some other challenges, we agree. But be fair to Ghanaians so that they are able to register.
The process.
This call is a very simple call.
Okay. The other elephant in the room has got to... No, okay, if I say elephant, probably it will be about the MPP. So the other issue has got to do with the IPAC. I was raising that point with Kofi Akpaloo earlier. The fact that you have a key political party such as the NDC not being part of the process. All of these concerns would have been addressed there. Don't you believe so?
Oh, yeah. We try our best. And I believe... with the involvement of NDC, would have been better than where we reach. So I think Dr. Fareja recently advised them that they should make it a point to go back to IPAC because it will help them. The IPAC is very important because normally when we sit and we discuss and we judge, we help. Sometimes maybe you might think this direction. Somebody raised something and then realize that
there's a call to make it legal. That question was put to the commissioners yesterday. They believe that it's not time yet for that to happen. As a political party, do you share in that, making it legal? So at least every political party has representation. It would have addressed all of these.
If it becomes legal, I will support it 100% because you see, so that people will not take our advice and our suggestions for granted. They'll take it serious. And I'll go for that.
Well, when was the last time, the EC engaged the IPAC? And would you say that the various propositions you make, because it's part of the concerns that the NDC has raised, the various propositions that you make there are taken seriously? Is that the case?
For the latter part of the question,
Yeah, you're trying to dodge my question. I'm asking if because your concerns are taken seriously.
Actually, they've taken a lot. But there's the recent one, regards to this limited registration where they propose that they want to do that at the district centers, where we also give them counter suggestions and stuff like that, which they refuse to pick. So that's the only thing that I can remember now. But maybe, it's not everything that they will take. It's not everything that we will take.
You're trying to be modest about this, is it?
Oh, no, it's not about shouting. It's about what it is.
So you believe that there are some challenges, at least for now, with the IPAC?
Oh, yes. But you see, the EC recently listened one or other to the voices of the NDC when the NDC suggested that there are too many political parties at the IPAC. And so the EC did away with so many political parties. They canceled some of them. And I think even there are some to be canceled because at the moment we have only 11 political parties fully registered. But the EC has given us a deadline on the 31st of December that if you are not able to fulfill certain requirement, your party.
So they'll trim the numbers further down?
If the 11, if they are not able to meet the minimum requirement, then I think some will go.
So as a lesser followed political party, do you have the numbers, for across the country, the requirement to have all your offices across? Because some independent and smaller political parties have accused you. I'm sure you've heard some of them say that your party was spared by the Electoral Commission when of course, this whole issue came up.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I believe, we need to have a national headquarters. We must have regional offices, which we do. We have both. We have the national headquarters, we have our regional offices. So what is left is the district offices. But you cannot cancel my party because I don't have district offices. Okay? You can only cancel my party when I don't have regional offices or a national office, which fulfill all those. But even as a party, it helps me to have offices across. Because why? If somebody is looking for us, they can easily locate us. So our party, I can tell you, we have not less than 100 offices at the moment.
I see. Mustafa Akman, the issue about your party not taking IPAC seriously, Mr. Kwalu always goes there. He's just pointing out that a number of considerations have been made there, except the very last one, which has got to do with the limited registration exercise. Why is the NDC still adamant to this whole idea,
before we came to the office, our predecessors had some major concerns about IPAC. I may think otherwise, but the stand of the party is to the extent that IPAC is supposed to be a forum for us to bring consensus. Quite apart from what the law says, we can come together to reason with each other to make some compromises, given the discretion of the Electoral Commission. But this particular commissioner, I'm told, will not even allow you to make your point. And she can tell you that she'll walk you out. It is not in the place of an electoral commissioner.
This is an account you're hearing.
Those are accounts I've received. Number two, she would not take into account whatever any political party, once her kitchen cabinet agrees with those decisions. Now let me set an example. Before the registration exercise, the other political parties met without the NDC. They had an agreement with the EC chairperson. When they closed the meeting, she did otherwise.
Oh, you mean that's on the limited?
Yes, on the decentralization. She did otherwise. You don't need NDC to be present at a meeting to do what is right. The Electoral Commission is a referee of our electioneering process, and as such, must carry along herself with integrity and credibility. You must not always want to apply discretion that is, that sides with a particular political party and shortchanges the others. But this has been what she does. So I'm just saying that the example of it is the recent IPAC meeting they had. They had an agreement that let's take the registrations to at least registration. Electoral. She agreed. As soon as they closed, she held a press conference and said otherwise. That is clear act of dishonesty, lack of sincerity and integrity. That is what the commissioner is doing. So I'm saying that NDC will come back to IPAC if the Electoral Commissioner is willing to do what is fortified honesty, what is sincerity, and carrying herself along with highest level of integrity and professionalism.
The CDD says you need to come back to promote CDD.
I agree. I also believe that we will go back to IPAC. I want to say that in my personal view, I don't believe that the EC chairperson is a monster and that we should not confront the issues. I want to sit there and confront the issues head on. When we don't agree, we come out and speak about it. But we are revising, we are looking at the issues day by day. And these calls are coming. I believe that leadership at some point
will take a decision.
Will give a decision as far as IPAC is concerned. But these are the prevailing circumstances that I can see that these electoral commissioner, she herself calling for IPAC. She's not willing to reason with IPAC. The smallest of issues, you've been dishonest about it. And the political parties will tell you, MPP was there. My brother Haruna knows.
Okay,
that MPP was in that meeting.
Let me bring in Haruna because he's also listening. In fact, there's one more issue that CDD is raising. They call it outstanding matters before the 2024 elections. I'll also take your thoughts on that, gentlemen. But Haruna, the point about IPAC, just before we zoom into the concerns of CDD. Can you
let me state this point.
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
Right. Let me state this point very clear.
Right.
The MPP is represented in IPAC by Obi Amwa and then Chairman McMahon. In fact, we've got a report from them of what happened in IPAC. These two members disagreed with the position of EC for registration to be done at the district level. Explanations were offered by EC, but there was no agreement that this should be done. But there was a decision by EC at IPAC. So I just want to correct that point, that there was no agreement, but there was a decision. However, the New Patriotic Party, through Obi Amwa and Mark Menu, disagreed with those positions. They cited the 2019 expansion of registration centers, the gazetted list, all those things were submitted. However, a decision was taken by EC. We, however, decided not to go to court and to pursue it in a different manner. Let me also state that my brother Mustafa has been saying government and the MPP has nothing to do with EC. We are not embedded with them. We are not influencing anything. We are not interested. We are not interested. We are not interested in what.
Electoral Commissioner attends secret meetings with government functionaries. What are you talking about?
Just make the point for me, Haruna.
You see, Mustafa will spoil your program.
I see. Just make the point for me, Haruna.
Next time, come to the studio.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Haruna, just land on the point for me. Yes.
So, yes, it is good that all of us will gather at IPAC. I heard you say that the NDC have called for legalization or a constitutional instrument or making it legal.
Yeah, some calls have emerged for that to happen.
Yeah, I think that, the MPP is a democratic party. We believe in the rule of law. Once there is any process to make IPAC legal, I think that the MPP is all for it. But let's not say that anything that is legal must be mistreated by the way we want it. I think that IPAC needs a lot of people, but a lot of criticism and discussions is needed in IPAC. But we need positive criticisms, positive contributions that is going to change the political situation and also contribute to electoral process in Ghana. I think that it is very laudable if we all look at it.
Now, let's deal with the CDD has tabled some concerns. The critical, issues they say must be addressed before the 2024 general elections. And one of them has got to do with the composition of the Electoral Commission. Yesterday, the commissioners reacted to that. The appointment of two other commissioners, which the Center for Democratic Development Ghana believes are, they believe the individuals have been tainted politically. The names that I'm talking about at the Electoral Commission. They are asking President Akufo-Addo to, for instance, revise some of these appointments before the 2024 elections. So let me take your thoughts on that. I'll start off with you. Yes, Haruna.
Yeah, Bless. First and foremost, you ask yourself, who has the power to do the appointment? As His Excellency the President. The appointment that has been done, is it out of law or out of place? Legally, it is right. Yes, the NDC had petitioned the Council of State. The Council of State has also responded to the NDC, and that they have washed off their hands because of where it has gotten to. What we are calling for, is it common sense or constitutional? We are a constitutional government. If it is unconstitutional, we deal with it. If it is constitutional, then we have to make our case that will support the evidence of which we want to make. I was at CDD when these discussions were being made yesterday. I contributed, or I did have my contribution to the discussion. And I think that what was said in there was that the thing is still before the appointing authority. And I think that His Excellency the President is looking at that matter. But,
what's the position of the party? Because, for instance, the position of the party will inform, perhaps, what the president might decide to do. Because you could implore the president as well as the governing party, asking him to take some decision.
But Blaise, why are we taking a position on a legal matter? This is a legal matter. There is no illegality on it. So what position do you want us to make?
When the appointments were being made, when the appointments were being considered, are you saying that the president did not necessarily consult the party?
In the past. There are several other things we can point on in the past. Aji has to add to Maida. You all know Maida. Maida was the regional chairman of the NDC. In 2004, prior to 2004, she was the women organizer for the then Guchegu Sabangida constituency. And she contested with Dr. Nashiru, the then governor of the Bank of Ghana, to become parliamentary candidate. The MPP did not cry on the top of the route to say that because she was an NDC member, because we believe in her credentials. I think that let's look at what you may perceive people to be, when they get to the positions, they work and make sure that they distinguish themselves. These are things that we must be looking at for.
Okay, so if I'm getting the interpretation well, it means that the NPP is not necessarily worried about this, and that the president may not necessarily revoke or act on the concerns by CDD and other political parties.
No, these are their opinions. They have the right to be worried. And with that, they are citizens of Ghana. They are citizens of Ghana. They are qualified to occupy those positions. Somebody has the right to exercise the appointment. The president does so in accordance with the law. So I think that if people have different shares of opinion, knowledge is not embedded in one person. So once they are seeing something, we are also seeing different things. And I think that if it is a public debate, like what the CSOs are doing, if there is a reason in that, I think that there can be a change in dynamism and something else can be done about that. Until then, once it is legal, I don't think that there is something that the MPP will have to contest.
Okay. Kofi Akwalo, for you, the CDD making some complaints. They feel that, for instance, the appointments could jeopardize the integrity of the main elections in 2024. Are you all equally concerned?
Honestly, you see, when there's a sharp division about certain things, one need to sit and then reason again, because what CDD has raised is not something that we should just trash it. We should listen to it, and if something can be done, we do it. Other than that, it will lead to so many whatsoever, because over here, any little thing, people will just raise eyebrow, and it's not something that me personally, I don't have any issue. Whoever is going to be at the EC as a commissioner or whatsoever.
You feel it cannot have any direct bearing on the outcome of the process?
No, you see, let me tell you, if you want to win election in Ghana, what you have to do is to resource your people at the polling station.
At the base?
At the base. You see, you get your pink sheet. When you get all your pink sheet right, I don't know who can change the figures on the pink sheet. If you get your pink sheet right.
If you get your pink sheets right. And the announcement, for instance, is
no, forget about the announcement.
What will happen?
No, you can announce any figures, but they can challenge you. You understand?
Really?
It's like putting your money at the bank.
You know how tedious it is. When the legal process.
You see, when you send your money to the bank, they give you a deposit slip.
Obviously.
The purpose of the deposit slip is for reconciliation purposes.
Of the figures.
So the reason they are giving you the pink sheet is for reconciliation purposes. You need to go and sit down and do your analysis to know who got what. Even don't think about your own alone. Think about what other people are getting. Because I did some observation, I did some analysis on the previous elections, the 2012 election, the 2016 elections, and at certain constituencies, I realized that there were some jumps. And I'm asking myself, why? How did they get these figures here? It doesn't commensurate. So if you sit down and you do your work very, very well, professionally, there's no way somebody from 2012 to date. Nobody can increase the number of votes at the polling station.
Are you saying that, for instance, if you were appointed as EC chairperson now,
I cannot
a
do
lot
anything.
of people will not complain? That
they will complain. No, they will complain, but
you can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
Are you sure about this?
100%. 100%. You see, MPP and NDC, they have the muscles, if you permit me to say. Every polling station, they have their men there, men and women there. So even where the smaller party don't have men and women, you know the NDC and MPP will protect it for you. Because you know this one will not allow this one to steal. You understand?
I see.
So unless maybe some high intimidation whereby maybe they will put gun and knife on you and say, hey, write these figures and change the figures.
Okay, but you know that the elections are obviously a process. It's not just a one-day event.
Yeah.
Sometimes some decisions, boardroom decisions and all of that could affect the political parties. If you have someone allegedly, I mean, who's perceived to be aligning with one of the sides.
Yeah. So you have to give me a reason why 2024 somebody can rig it for somebody. Yeah, 2024 election. If you can give me a reason why a particular commissioner can rig it for, let's say, MPP. I don't get it.
You don't see that happening.
Which constituency? Which constituency or which region? Is it Ashanti region or where Abbas, Nuruddin and Sami Jamfi and the rest?
Now Alan Cash is in the mix as well.
Exactly. So it will be very difficult for
anyone to change.
But prior to 2012,
you believe
anything could have happened, you know. But now nothing.
Okay.
That's all.
Let me wrap up with you, Mr. Fagbandi.
Thank you very much. I think that you may be given the power by law to appoint.
Yes.
But that power must be exercised within the context of discretion, subject to Article 296.
Right.
You know, so Haruna is saying that Akufo-Addo can appoint me as the head of Yoko. They know that I could have jailed them in 10 days, all of them. So they will not appoint me. If it is that easy, let Nana Addo appoint NDC's Deputy General Secretary to Yoko. I will jail all of them within 10 days. Now, if you go and appoint a political party's officer into an entity that is supposed to be independent of the influence of political parties, a member of a political party that is a stakeholder in the business of the election.
Right.
You appoint one person to come and be a referee. How do you expect that game to be fair? That is why we have the kind of decisions we have from Electoral Commission.
But how
the place is highly influenced.
There's an issue about qualification.
Yes. They qualify. The fact that you qualify, if you don't, they should come and appoint Akpalu as a member of
But he says he would do the job. He would do the job.
No, they should appoint Akpalu. The Council of State, a very noble institution of eminence, undertook an advice to the president without due diligence. They said that they didn't know. A Council of State suddenly lost control of what is common due diligence. When they give you a CV, multimedia, before you appoint somebody, you do basic due diligence. If they have done the list of due diligence, they would find out that the young man they are appointing was the Bono director of IT of the MPP, not a sympathizer, an officer of the party like myself and Haruna, to go and head an electoral commission where you expect decisions to be taken and those decisions should be neutral. Again, let me say that the NDC would want to work with the electoral commission because we believe that we want to participate in a very credible election, a very transparent election. The issue of 2020 was because the NDC left it. But this time, they will not dare. We are leaving no stone unturned until the election is declared for the NDC.
Right.
We don't want to rig an election. We don't want the EC to declare the NDC when we have not won. But we want to see if LPG is winning an election. He should win. But let me tell you, the whole country where I have taught, every single village you go, you will find LPG posters there.
Oh, I see.
Yes, every single village you go. So if LPG is winning, the Electoral Commission should have the credibility to announce
LPG has won. Will you be happy?
You would have lost. I wouldn't want an election where you have characters like Bosman Asare and Piahene as commissioners trying to steal and rig the election. Right. They are not campaigning. They are not participating in registration, yet they want to break the 8.
And that's Mustafa Agmandi for you, the Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, and also grateful to you, Kofi Apalo of the LPG, for joining us, and to you, Haruna Mohammed, for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Come to the studio and stop lecturing us.
Way to the studio.
Stop being a lecturer.
We'll talk about issues relating to the hand. We're watching the polls.
I'll get a time and take you for lunch.
Indeed, we'll see about that. Thank you, gentlemen, for spending some time with us. We'll be back.